ain't got no problem with him either. You know, I had disliked a lot of things that he was saying, you know, and how he was acting.
He's definitely scared of me. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money.
Given the history of the sport, I didn't see nobody that can compete with Terence Crawford. And
he older, he got miles on him, and he ain't got that.
You know, I mean, these guys, I don't think know what they do anything. It's mostly talk.
The super middleweight champion of all time, David Benavidez.
This dude is, dude can punch.
Where the hell do you go from here?
Terence "Bud" Crawford has done something incredible, achieving one of the most impressive feats in recent boxing history.
Congratulations, man. You did it. I'm so proud of you. You used all my tricks to beat Canelo, just like I showed you. You went in there, and you got it done. Unbelievable, bro. All jokes aside, dope shit, man. Congratulations, champ. So well deserved. Salute.
As the world hailed him as a true all-time great, a new massive challenge appeared, stirring major debate and an unexpectedly strong reaction from Crawford himself.
What do you see for yourself after this fight? How long do you want to be in the sport? How long do you want to be actively fighting?
I don't know. You know,
it's not something you think about. You're just going fight by fight. I always
take one fight at a time. You know, one fight at a time. I feel great. I'm healthy, and like I said, I'm looking forward to having some fun.
A major figure in boxing is now calling for a fight that many believe is far too risky, even for a legend like Bud Crawford.
I'm sick of seeing fighters getting the easiest fights just because they're getting the biggest paychecks. Like it don't. At the end of the day, it's not even about money. It's about giving the fans of boxing the fights that they deserve. They're paying the money at the end of the day, so fuck. Let's go to war. Let's do what these people want to see us do, and let's go to war and may the best man win. I wasn't gonna go down to 168, but now.
The question is why this fight is being pushed and what it reveals about the hidden forces shaping boxing. Crawford's bold jump to 168 pounds was a big gamble that paid off. He faced Canelo Alvarez in a fight so huge that commentator John Onik called it the biggest live sporting event he had ever covered and delivered a flawless performance.
I mean, if legacy's something for him, he's got to win one of those two fights, don't you think?
Yeah, I think in order to prove that one of the greatest, I think that we would have to beat one of those guys. You know, and the only person that he has as far is Benavidez, and I don't know. Bud said he wouldn't fight him, but I don't think that's true. I think that if that fight happens, I think Bud would also entertain that, and if he does entertain it, it seemed like the way that he beat Canelo would be able to beat him again.
The world watched Bud dominate a true legend, earning a clear, unanimous decision. But it wasn't just the win that impressed, it was how he won. Experts noted that Canelo's strategy had become predictable, focusing on one big punch at a time. Crawford, the master strategist, used perfect timing and smart counters to take full advantage.
He older, he got miles on him, and he ain't got that.
And B-side, when you asked me, you said, how would you beat him, Lonnie B? What I tell you?
The same thing. You'll keep the jab on him, keep sticking the jab, moving and touching him with the right hand, and just turning him on angles.
And throwing punches. That's how to throw punches at it.
Yeah.
And I said level to the body, because that's open for him all night.
You said he ain't got the movement no more. You said he ain't.
On top of that, former UFC champion Kamaru Usman noticed that the aggressive Canelo of old wasn't showing up, suggesting the Mexican star may have lost the psychological edge that once made him so feared. This decisive win also made Crawford the first male boxer ever to become the undisputed champion in 3 different weight classes, cementing his legendary status.
I want to thank all my fans here that support me. I want to thank. This is bigger than the norm, you know, because I want to thank my urban community. I want to thank my Latin community. I want to thank my white community, and I want to thank my Asian community, my African community. I want to thank everybody, because today you see us all as one, you know, and a lot of people always say, how you get the Mexicans to side with you? I said, hey, my people too. I said, so it don't matter if I'm fighting Canelo. Some of the urban community is going for Canelo.
But just as the world celebrated, an unexpected voice shook things up. That voice belonged to Turki Alalshikh, a highly influential figure behind some of boxing's biggest fights today. With his enormous financial power, his suggestions aren't just opinions, they can change the course of the sport.
Do you want to see a rematch?
No. He's not beaten Crawford, you know.
Okay.
I think he can, can he improve? Maybe.
Okay, so wait. If he's not beating Crawford, which is fair, right? I agree. Based on what we saw, I do think he can make improvements, but who knows? Is there someone else better out there than that you'd rather see Crawford fight than Canelo?
Well, Turkey did ask, could Bivol get down to 168?
I asked, Turkey said, can Benavidez?
I thought he said Bivol.
No, I said Bivol. Oh. Turkey said Benavidez.
Well, certainly not. Certainly not Benavidez. I don't think he's beaten Benavidez. I think that's a bridge way too far. I do a lot of things too far. But could you just imagine if Bivol cut the skill we'd see in that fight?
Yeah.
The rounds between Canelo and Crawford went by like that. They'd be the same against those two. That'd be epic.
Soon after Crawford's win, Turki casually recommended what he saw as the next logical challenge for the new 168-pound king, a fight against David Benavidez.
Hear me out here, Kamaru. Terence Crawford versus the Mexican monster, David Benavidez.
I knew it was coming.
He was the mandatory for Canelo.
Oh my God. Relax.
What's up? The scariest guy in the division.
He's not in the division.
He said he could still make 168 pounds. The reason why he went up because nobody wants to fight him.
That's a big dude. And to be honest, Terence Crawford's 37 years old.
It's about merit. Could I get to the generational talent, as he said, with Manny Pacquiao? He's an 8-division world champ.
If it ain't no big name, Terence, do what you do, bro.
The idea grabbed everyone's attention in the boxing world. It wasn't just a suggestion, it sparked huge controversy, especially from Bud himself.
Would you ever entertain a fight with David Benavidez?
You gotta understand.
I gotta ask you, bro, because I can't,
My thing is, Benavidez is a big dude. Not to say I won't fight him. I fought his brother. His brother was big and I fought him. The only reason why I entertain Canelo is because he's not a big dude. He might be thick, but he's not a big dude. Benavidez is like 6 foot something. Then you gonna come in 190, 200 probably. You know what I mean? Like, you never know. Like, that's a big dude.
And he's skilled.
I might as well go to heavyweight if I fight Benavidez.
Yeah, I understand what you're looking at. You're like, you know what?
You just size him up.
Yeah,
you just size him up. Especially when you're going into a bigger weight class like that, you size him up and you see your advantages.
Crawford responded quickly and clearly, making it known he wasn't interested in facing the Mexican powerhouse. He explained, Benavidez is simply too big. He clarified that the Canelo fight was different because, even in separate divisions, he and Canelo are roughly the same size. He added that Benavidez stands over 6 feet tall and would likely rehydrate to 190 to 200 pounds by fight night.
Canelo hasn't fought David Benavidez yet, and a lot of people looked at him having to move from the super middleweight to the light heavyweight division to get some of the matches that he wants. But if you were at 168, when we think about anybody at 168 outside of Canelo, the first name that comes to anybody's mind is David Benavidez. What about the potential for a fight like that?
Oh, like I said, man, that's a big dude. You know what I mean? He ain't even at 168. You know, when you look.
Right, not now. It's at 175. Yeah.
He probably can't even make 168 no more. But when you look at these fights, especially coming up, you gotta be realistic. You gotta, say, all right, how big is this dude really is? Because David Benavidez, he can fight his ass off, and I told him that a long time. I told him that when, before I fought his brother. I said, man, dude, you can fight, dude. You're gonna do big things. But the dude gonna come in at like 200, 210. You know what I mean? I get why Canelo, was like, I don't need to fight this dude because, he can take a punch. He gonna come in there and gonna just lay on you and bulldoze you.
Right.
And Canelo just don't want that, work. But me personally, I believe in my skills and my ability that I can beat anybody.
His stance was so firm that he made a surprising comment. I might as well move up to heavyweight if I face Benavidez.
The way Crawford is, Crawford's very like, he has a big ego, especially when it comes to anything he does, bro. He has a big ego. And I said this yesterday. I won't be surprised if he dominates Canelo and then they offer him Benavidez and he says okay.
This wasn't just a fighter refusing a challenge. It was a smart champion setting a clear boundary. And it isn't only Crawford who sees it this way, many experts share concerns about the size difference.
At the same time, I mean, Benavidez is also the one guy that nobody's willing to fight. And if nobody's willing to fight him, that makes you valuable. And so the thing is that if you get the right guy that is willing to pay for that, and I mean I don't see him saying that, okay, well, we can't afford to fight this guy. So I mean, that fight can happen if it's a fight that I think Bud wanted to see.
And what if you're Canelo? I think the only thing you could possibly want is that rematch to get that a little bit of that legacy back.
Remember when Floyd said, I think he should fight, Terence Crawford want to be great, he should fight David Benavidez. Remember Floyd saying that? Why do you think Crawford didn't pay that no mind?
Why?
That's right. You know why? He like, listen, man. Nah, I'm gonna be strategic about this. And it is business-wise, it's smart. Terence Crawford is on the Mount Rushmore of boxing, but we got weight classes for a reason. He caught Canelo at the right time, like Canelo done, guys. And I'm not saying that his win is not valid. It's very valid, and that's what he was supposed to do. And he outboxed Canelo, and I can't take nothing away from his win. But was that the same Canelo that Floyd fought? Was that the same Canelo that Amir Khan fought? You know, so Terence Crawford gonna be strategic at this weight. He ain't just gonna come here and I bet you he don't fight at this weight again. I bet you he don't fight nobody else at 68.
Crawford, after all, is a natural welterweight who first made his name at 147 pounds.
He's definitely scared of him. You know, if you have a fighter talking so much trash in front of you, why don't you make an example of him to the world? Beat me in the ring and make a whole lot of money. You know what I mean? So he sees a lot of things in me that he can't stop. You know, not only does he see speed, does he see power, but he sees a lot of heart in me. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I'm going in there and I want to prove myself to the world that I'm the greatest fighter. And it doesn't matter, it doesn't scare me to get in there with another great fighter because I know that elevates me and who I am as a competitor.
Analysts like Garcia called it a risky fight for Crawford. The matchup seemed mostly pushed for Canelo Alvarez, and many feel Crawford shouldn't be expected to fight someone who naturally belongs in a higher weight class.
I ain't gonna lie, they gonna say see, this why I gotta let y'all know, cause they gonna say I'm glazing, but I'm telling the truth.
Dig it.
This dude power for me, and I've been saying this for years, it carries through the weight class. Okay. So I can see him in the ring with a 175 or a cruiserweight, and if he touched them, I don't care who you are, you're gonna feel that shit, bro. I don't care who the fuck it is. I done seen him in the ring with a heavyweight.
And you fight Benavidez?
I like Benavidez, so I ain't gonna disrespect him.
I said, no, I don't want to see him fight.
I'm gonna say my opinion.
I just want to see him fight. That's
my opinion.
Absolutely.
At 168, if Benavidez come down there, I don't think he beats Bud.
Okay, I dig.
That's my opinion. People want to say I'm crazy, but
the skill is. I mean, the skill is.
No, the skill is there. No,
it's just usually because someone's a little bit bigger, right?
Yes, and they think like, okay, you got to be able to take certain punishment that the other guy's putting on you. But I watched Bud when he fought Canelo, and then I watched Benavidez when he fought Caleb Plant. And when I seen it was like Caleb Plant was outboxing him. So if Caleb Plant didn't gas out, Caleb Plant might have beat him that night. But Bud, he don't tire. He come in tremendous condition, and for me, I just think Bud is a legend. So they might say I'm crazy, but people might say they're not gonna make that fight happen. But I don't think it's far-fetched.
Like that's the
how much
big.
Gotta lose.
He been fighting that one. He's fighting him at 68, I think. He can get the
68 would be
he a big dude.
ideal because he came from 68.
He a big dude.
Oh, he came from. Oh, so he went up. Now he has to come back down.
Yeah, he would have to come back down.
That'd be
a difference too.
That's a fight. Like, that's a fight.
Because Benavidez the truth too.
Hey,
he the truth.
Punches and bunches with bad intentions.
Yes, he the truth.
Hey, remember, go watch, go look, hey dog.
He the truth. He a killer.
He is our resident fight. A whole killer.
Yeah, he watching. He knows.
He's the man we go to.
But taking on the powerful figures who run the sport is nothing new for Terence Crawford.
There's no way. Crawford just got the biggest win in his career and one of the biggest wins in history. He doesn't need to go out there and risk. But it is too big, too strong. We don't want to see a champion do so much and accomplish so much and then end his career with a bad choice, a bad fight that he shouldn't take. I wouldn't do it.
His history of standing up for his independence shows what's ahead, proving he has always been ready to challenge the boxing establishment to build his own legacy, a fight he faces again today.
Listen to me. Almost worse than Canelo was. He will beat the living shit out of Terence Crawford.
If David Benavidez come out of 68, he'll fuck him up. I got Terence Crawford.
That's not
I ain't
gonna
betting against Terence Crawford no more. I mean,
Okay.
I ain't never bet against
Well,
him.
listen to me.
I bet $10.
You see what I'm saying?
But I ain't betting against
Because
That's like betting against
because he outboxed over the hill Canelo. People see how people think,
Yeah, but
oh, well, he a crush. No, he dope. Listen,
impressive.
yeah, I'm not saying that he's not dope, but what I'm saying is, but you see how boxing can trick your mind. Listen, David Benavidez will beat the socks off of Terence Crawford. I'm sorry, he don't stand a chance. He's too little. How you gonna keep him off? And David uses a jab. I sparred with David. Listen, that's a tough fight.
Yeah, it's a tough fight.
That's a tough fight. Listen.
It's a tough fight, but
listen, Terence Crawford.
That little black nigga from Omaha.
Listen to me. Listen to me.
Motherfucker from Omaha, that nigga is a bad mother. Shut your mouth.
Now, some say powerful figures like Turki Alalshikh might be trying to influence Crawford with money. To understand the tension, you need to know the background. Canelo has faced tough opponents like Mayweather, Lara, and Bivol, but avoided Benavidez. For years, Benavidez was the biggest threat at 168 pounds, calling Canelo scared. Yet the fight never happened, and Benavidez left the division. For a potential matchup with Canelo, Benavidez insisted he would not drop back to 168 because he held a championship belt. But now, in a surprising twist, Benavidez's camp says they are open to moving down if Turkey wants Crawford. This sudden change adds fuel to the idea that money can sway even firm decisions. Meanwhile, this is happening in real time. Crawford turned 38 on September 28, so time is pressing in his prime. The Benavidez fight carries almost legendary stakes. Analyst Breadman Edwards says a win could cement Crawford as one of the greatest ever, placing him in the most exclusive hall of boxing history. Edwards describes different levels of greatness, with a platinum tier for immortals like Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Robinson, and other tiers for legends like Marvin Hagler. Beating Benavidez would do more than win a belt, it could open the door to the platinum room. Still, Crawford has other options, a dangerous fight with rising star Jiren Boots fans are demanding, or tension with Jamal Charlo, which started when Crawford, after dominating Errol Spence, pointed at Charlo's twin and said, "You're next." Some close to Crawford, like Shakur Stevenson, think he has nothing left to prove and should retire at his peak.
There's still a need for Benavidez.
Who? Canelo?
Turkey
People,
Jock.
people are talking about it.
Turkey hinted at that. He was like Benavidez.
Yeah, he
Turkey,
did.
So.
Turkey just posted that this morning, wondering if Benavidez can make 168. Maybe he has plans or ideas of maybe trying to match up Benavidez and Terence Crawford.
No,
there.
man.
Maybe planning on vacating the belts.
No, we ain't gonna vacate the belts. We just gonna sit where we need to sit for a minute, and then, just like I said, get back in the gym and do our thing.
It's going to be a tough fight. You can say whatever you want to say. Terence Crawford is one of the best in the division. Terence Crawford opens himself up a little bit. I think one of the major keys is going to be the jab.
So imagine the two paths. Path 1, Crawford, at 38, faces a 200-pound David Benavidez. Will it be a historic triumph or a costly mistake? Path 2, he faces Jamal Charlo, settling a long-standing family score. Which story does the world want to see, the impossible challenge or the personal grudge? This is a clash of a fighter's hard-earned legacy, the pressures of the sport, and the reality of time. Terence Crawford stands at a crossroads, facing a minefield of choices. He could risk it all for GOAT status against Benavidez, resolve the old score with Charlo, fight a hungry young contender, or accept that his legacy is already secure. In the end, the question isn't just who Crawford will fight next, it's what every legendary fighter must face. When you've conquered every mountain, how do you battle time itself? That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss our upcoming videos. Share your thoughts in the comments, stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.
David, I gotta ask you, bro, before you leave, because all the fans wanna know this. Can you still make 168?
To be honest with you, man, let Terence Crawford live. That's his weight class.
Okay,
I lost interest in 168 a long time ago. You know, I mean, I know that we could get offered a lot of money to go down to 168, but I'm more comfortable at 175. I'm chasing better beef. I'm chasing Bivol. You know, I'm chasing these other bigger. I'm chasing Surdo Ramirez at cruiserweight. You know what I mean? So I've been at 168, but I have no interest in going down.
Dude's a maniac. Who's chasing? Who chases better BF than Bivol? Who chases better BF than Bivol? What's wrong with you?
Honestly, I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to hear Benavidez, Ortiz on boots. I don't want to hear shit because, listen, bro, he beat the face of boxing. He cemented the fact this was Terence Bud Crawford era. No rehydration clause, no catch weight. He said, I am going to beat you on Mexican Independence Day in the biggest stadium. I'm going to walk out to a mariachi band holding a guitar. Brother, guy, hey, bro, that's belt to ass. He was the buckle, everything, bruh. After this, everything goes downhill from here. Nothing competes against him. And the thing is, he's only going to get older. What he's going to do, go down and cut muscle like Roy did? His mission was Nello. That's it. There's no Janabek, no Fundora, no Benavidez. None of that shit is over with, bruh. I hope he retires.